It's a new day. It's a new character and a new map. I'm ready if you are. So, welcome, King Von Alle, Bubonic One, any others out there who are lurking. Welcome aboard. Let's make a third character as we're putting together a bit of a scrappy pirate crew, I guess. That's how it's looking, right? We made our first character here, Janet Passer, the female brass dragonborn. She's a lawful good pirate with a bad reputation. And if you're wondering how that happened, check out the VOD while it's still up. And of course it'll be up on YouTube later too. Then we have Ethel Salk. We have a male tiefling wizard, a transmutation wizard, who's on a personal journey to find an artifact of his temple that was lost. And, well, he's going to get to use that transmutation magic because if it's sunk, you got to grow gills somehow. Alright, you got to get the webbed fingers and toes somehow. Transmutation magic, that's the way to go. What are we going to have this time? Let's find out. Here's our good old dice roller here. Percentiles. We're going to roll this once to determine female, male, or multi-classed. 1. Well, 1 to 45 is female, 46 to 90 is male, and 91 to 100 is multi-classed, and we'd roll again. We got a 1. What are the odds of that, right? 1%. So we have a female, well, female what? Let's roll a d10 and find out. 10, well, alright, so 10 is a reroll. 1. We have a female dwarf. Odds or evens for hill or mountain. Whoa, there's a 10 again. I like this d10. We have an even number. This is a hill dwarf. Female hill dwarf. Okay, they are medium-sized. Well, we're building our character one step at a time. Hopefully, you know, some image of this character is slowly materializing in your imagination. Let's determine her alignment by 2D percentile rolls. One for each of the axes in alignment. Whoops. Oh, I rolled that twice. I shouldn't have. 5 and 34. I will keep these other rolls, though. 97, that would have been an evil character, though. 5 and 34, that is going to put it in the realm of good. 34 is going to be neutral. She is neutral good. Now for her level, well, we need level, and if she's taking feats, let's take a look. Her level, we rolled a 97. 97, this means it's a level 18 character we're generating. And the 33 indicates that we're just taking stat bumps. ASIs, ability score increases, or, I'm sorry, ability score, why am I derping on the name of that? Well, ASIs, ability score increases. Stat bumps, boosts, the boosties. And we're not, we're taking all of them at 4, 8, 12, and 16. She's going to get her next one at 19, so she's just a little shy. Now, what did she do before she was whatever she is now? Your background represents a job, a hobby, a profession, something interesting that occurred somewhere in your life. That's a 13-sided die we're rolling. There we go. Hit roll. 7. 7. Oh, she was a hermit. Now, as per the PHB, there are 8 kinds of hermit origins. We are going to roll 1d8 and put this 3 up here. What does the 3 indicate? I don't know. Doesn't matter right now. This is just a placeholder. We're building a story first, and then we'll worry about the details of our character. Next, 2d8 for her personality traits. 7 and 7. Well, whatever 7 is, she's super 7. Though, for what we do here, you know, if you're role-playing this character at home and you did this randomly, maybe you just double down, and she is just so focused on this aspect. Though, for our purposes, I want to try and get two guiding posts, 2 milestones, 2 beacons, whatever, in order to... There we go, in a 5. In order to help flesh her out even more. Next up, we roll 3d6 for the other portions of the background. Ideals, bonds, and flaws. Right? Ideals, bonds, flaws. 2, 3, 1. Just placeholders. Do not worry about what it means. We will make it all make sense. That is the mental exercise that we do. Next up, there are 12 classes. And shucks howdy, there's a nice big golden button for us here, a D12. You can hit that in this dice roller, or you can hit roll. It's up to you. We're going to roll it and get an 11. Oh, we have a Warlock. Okay. Warlocks get a Patron, who will grant them powers thematic to the Patron. They will also get a style of pact. There are 3 patrons and 3 pacts. So we're going to come down here, and instead of a 13-sided die, we're going to make a 3-sided die, and we're going to roll it twice. So we change the 1 to a 2. And we're going to hit roll. Own Dog, hey, thank you very much for the host. We are just getting going with our character here. We're making the outline, and we're going to fill her in here very shortly. We're getting our placeholders together. 1 and 1. Alright, so we have a Warlock. We look here. And she is going to be a Feyblade. Archfey Patron. Blade. Pact Blade. Volvo has come for donuts. Oh, I would enjoy some donuts too. Unfortunately, I don't have any. I have a little bit of tea. I can share some tea, I guess. And Volvo, thank you for the host. I appreciate it. We are almost finished with the basics for our character before we worry about details. Here we go. Hill Dwarves have their own entry here, because their cousins, the Mountain Dwarves, are a little bit taller and a little bit meatier. Hi, Bubonic. We're starting at 3d8, or I'm sorry, 3d8. 3 feet 8 inches tall, and we're adding 2d4 inches to her height. We're adding 6 inches to her height, so she is 3 feet 14 inches. See, 4'2", that's what I said. We're going to take this same 6 and multiply it by 2d6. By 10. We're adding 60 pounds to her base weight of 115. So she is 175 pounds. Just her. We're not including equipment or anything along those lines. Finally, let's determine her age. How old is she? We're going to do that on a standard distribution curve here. We're going to roll a percentile. And 77 falls within... She is middle-aged. She is a middle-aged dwarf. That is column 4, right? So here's column 4. Here's dwarf. We're going to see where they intersect. Boom. She's between 151 years old and 225. So let's roll a 75-sided die once and see what we get. 16. All right. She's 166 years old. Tea is better than evil coffee, and I love me some dwarves, says Spicy Larry. Volvo loves a fine wine too. Well, we have a hill dwarf. We have a hill dwarf Feyblade Warlock, Spicy Larry. Also, by the way, Spicy, I don't know if Buddha's here. If you're gonna strike, you gotta strike now. Spicy Larry goes into the Underdark. Ooh, a Durgar Slayer. You say you love dwarves. Let's see, 15 and 9. 9. Well, apparently you do because you gave yourself over to the dwarf. Bubonic, we have been. Actually, we rolled a Dragonborn. Janet Passer up here, Bubonic, is a Dragonborn. And for a newcomer to the channel, and a newcomer to D&D, we generated a Dragonborn Bard. Which actually, this is also a Bard. We generated a Dragonborn Bard for our new friend. So you would have been all dragoned out, Bubonic. You've been betrayed. Oh no. Okay, so that finishes out our random number generation, right? We are finished with this. Oh, I guess I was still over here while we were doing Dragonborn stuff, and you know what? It gives me, if I kind of line it up, especially with my onion dome hat. There we go. I have treasure. How can I do this? I have treasure. I have horns and apparently a tail. So I'm either a Dragonborn with a tail, or the Dragonborn make me look like a Tiefling. Okay, Chapter 4, backgrounds. She's a Hermit. Folk Hero. Guild Artisan. And there we go, Hermit. Being a Hermit will give us certain benefits here. I wonder if I can make this a little bit... That might work. Being a Hermit will grant us certain benefits. We get medicine and religion skill proficiencies. As well, we will get a tool proficiency with an herbalism kit. We will also get a language of our choice. Well, we get common and dwarven and question marks. We'll come back and fill that in. And we can fill our backpack now. Scroll case with notes. A winter blanket. Common clothes. We actually get an herbalism kit with which to use our herbalism kit tool proficiency. And we will receive 5 gold pieces. Yay. Okay. Excellent. What's next? Well, we have this number 3. What does Hermit number 3 mean? That means that we were exiled for a crime that we did not commit. Something to think about. What was her crime? We'll find out. Let's look a little bit deeper into her personality. She does get a background feature of a discovery of some kind. Now, maybe the discovery was her patron, whatever this Archfey is. You know, she ran away from home. She was... they wanted to pin a crime on her. She ran from it, and in so doing, she found You know, she was a wizard, Ari. Something along those lines. The discovery could be linked to her class. The discovery could be something else. This is a very powerful feature, in my opinion, as a background, because you are directly involved with the plot of the game. You are going to speak to your DM and work something out that will be revealing or damning or scandalous or revolutionary that will impact the game and the game world. Can I help you, ma'am? Hi. You want to come up and say hi to people? No, you just want to be a creep? Okay, that works too. Yellow, Dark Wolf. Yellow. Yellow. Whoops, a little too far. Dun, 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 dun. Page 2. Let's define some more numbers. Right? Because what does this mean on a character sheet? Personality trait 7. Now remember, we rolled double 7s. If you did that and your DM said, yeah, that's fine, just super play it up. Number 7 is, I often get lost in my own thoughts and contemplation, becoming oblivious to my surroundings. So she could be like Super Space Case if that was the case. And 5, which was our re-roll, so we had a little bit more of a defining personality. I'm oblivious to etiquette and social expectations. Alright, so she is she's kind of derpy, right? She doesn't really pay attention to what's going on around her. She's lost in her own thoughts. She's thinking about other things. You know, she's like she's a slowpoke. Doesn't mean that she's unintelligent. She's just not very observant. She's very much in her own world most of the time. That could be a result of the pact. Maybe that's why the Patron sought her out, because she already had the mindset to receive a pact like this. You're trying to level up, didn't notice the time. Oh yes, that's true, because you all are level 4 now. Yes, Steel Dust. We made a very compelling initial character for the week. We had a great conversation on how you could be a lawful good pirate with a bad reputation. And that kind of prompted us, because we're doing a special week this week. It's not going to be a Mesotopia campaign setting, because it's going to be an abbreviated week. So I was going to do something random, and I think we're making a sea-themed campaign this week. So here's character number 3. So she is super oblivious. Ideals 2. Logic. Emotions must not cloud our sense of what is right and true, or our logical thinking. That does say lawful. She is neutral good. That doesn't mean that it still can't work with her concept or her character. You can very much have a conflicting ideal to some of the other information you have and still make it work. And you, Steel Dust fell asleep to what you say is my ASMR voice. You get a new catnip. No, catnip. Cantrip. You get a new cantrip, but no idea what to pick. I'm like, catnip, but you do wolf. You're a wolf lady. What are you talking about? You get catnip. Which are the cantrips you already have, Dark Wolf? And then what, we can look at the druid list and we can go over what could be very useful for you. Wolf nip. A woo nip. Bonds number 3. Oops, that's on the next page. There we go. What is her bond? I'm still seeking the enlightenment I pursued in my seclusion, and it still eludes me. Alright, definitely. She's super focused. She's in her own world. Or she's in the world of the Fae, since that's her patron. You have Mending and Thorn Whip. Well, I guess that depends. Are you feeling, now that you're in Barovia, are you feeling a little bit more aggressive? Do you think you should have some more offensive options? Or you think between Guidance, Poison Spray, and Produce Flame? Well, Produce Flame could be useful, right? A lot of dark and depressing atmosphere. You can get light and an attack out of it. Guidance is a really solid cantrip. You know, you could play a support character really well with some Guidance. And Poison Spray, it'll make you more of an offensive character as well, and give you a another damage type / AOE. So if you want an AOE attack, I think even Produce Flame is a single target. What is her flaw? Number 1. Now that I've returned to the world, I enjoy its delights a little too much. Okay. So she's super involved in her own contemplation and her thinking. Though while she's there, she looks outside of her world at all the bright lights and flashing objects and whatever, and takes a fascination with things as well. Yeah, there are some undead that might. Not everything is undead in Barovia. Good for combat, but both Guidance and Produce Flame have its RP aspects. You are correct, Dark Wolf. Maybe because of that flaw, that's what would put her out to sea. Because there's not as much you have to worry about, right? She realizes that she gets so caught up in the world from which she ran that it's impeding her ideal. And so she figures, well, I'll just go out on a boat and I won't have to worry about other people as much. I won't have to worry about seeing other things. It's going to be me and the horizon, and I can study. I can get this. I can get my thoughts out on paper. Plus, being a dwarf on a ship, you have a low center of gravity. You have that good constitution. Maybe you won't throw up as much. Guidance being a big sis for Produce Flame equals being even more of a firebug. Yeah, you kind of do have that going for you, right? King says you can probably just bring the materials to produce a flame, but if you're in heavy rain or something, you'll be unable. Yep, yeah. You want to be able to do it supernaturally or rely on... because it is very misty and rainy in Barovia. So King does bring up a good point to consider. Alright, we have finished the personality parts. Go up to races. Here's Dwarf. Right at the beginning. They put one of the best races here right at the beginning of the book. Your con score increases by 2. We'll put a little note down here. We already have our size. Our speed is 25 feet. 12 climb, 12 swim, 0 fly. Half round down. We will get 60 feet of dark vision. Yay. You have advantage on saving throws versus poison. Alright, so advantages. Poison. And we have resistance to poison damage. So IRV, immunities, resistances, vulnerabilities. Let's fill in the middle radio button here. We also are going to receive proficiency in battle hand axe and throwing warhammer. We will gain a tool proficiency with an artisan tools of our choice, smiths, brewers, or masons. Could we substitute that for something else? Yeah, we can. You know, if we want to say maybe she was exiled earlier in life and she's only now just coming out of it, maybe she didn't really develop a traditional I mean, in that case, too, we might be able to substitute some of her proficiencies. Something to consider. Always talk to your DM. But if she didn't grow up, you know, spending time with traditional dwarven artisans tools, we might be able to give her something else if we wish. Maybe she took leatherworking tools. Maybe she took alchemical stuff. Stuff to think about. Spicy. Uh-oh. Or I'm sorry, real quick, Spicy, before we get there. King says you're not seeing any sort of utility for poison spray. Your DM could have a special rule to do other things like putting it in the water. Yeah, you might be able to sully water. You could probably use poison spray if you're being tracked by hounds or something. If something is trying to track you by scent, you could probably put poison spray down to cover your tracks in that regard. You could probably use poison spray to, I don't know, wilt or wither some leaves, or you know, make maybe even a non-damaging effect where you could cast poison spray in a doorknob and so it'll like tingle or sting. I don't know, there's a lot of different things I think that you can roleplay poison spray with. Just trapping your opponent in a room and filling it with poison spray for 20 rounds. Okay, so Spicy is going in the plane. 17. Spicy Larry defeats the Scarecrow. And wins 50 EXP. It's Clark has evening exams. And didn't a blizzard hit you, Clark? You said you got something like 3 feet of snow? Spicy Larry is almost at 14k experience. Spicy Larry has now surpassed 14k experience. We are going to get Stone Cunning. Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you are considered proficient. Now, with what we were talking about, if she was a hermit, if she was outcast for a crime she didn't commit, would she have Stone Cunning? Could we call it something like, well, she's a Fey, an Archfey Pact Holder, Warlock. Would we want to give her then, I don't know, like Wood Cunning? Can she get a similar effect but to woodwork or something like that? Because Stone Cunning and her dwarven weapon training are reflections of her being a dwarf. Depending on the nature of her hermitage, she may never have learned those things because she was exiled for the, you know, she ran away before learning it. Or we can say, look, this was just 3 years ago, and so she actually has all this stuff. And she's coming back into the world because, in part, her discovery is allowing her to do so. Yes, I ate my words, apparently with a spoonful of sugar, Larry. We have our languages, and for a sub-race, we're Hill Dwarves. We will increase our wisdom by 1. We'll put a note down here. And we do get Dwarven Toughness. Meaning every level we get 1 additional hit point. You had to dig out of my house and then dig my car out, and then I had to shovel my driveway easily 4 to 5 feet in some places. Was almost late for a 6:30 exam because of how much I had to do to get to it. I'm surprised you don't have something like a snowblower, or do you? Did you take pictures of everything in case you had to show your professor why you were late? Spicy Larry accepts and won the duel with Bubonic One. Congrats on your 40. Alright, here's our dwarf. Now we're going to come down to Warlock. Level 18. She has seen a lot in her days. Here we go. Oh no, Bubonic One lost a big battle. Oh my gosh. But look at that, you have 24,000 now. So we're going to get all of these fun and goodies. When you're making a higher level character, you can fill in your sheet and we'll go and retroactively add in stuff like hit points. And we'll explain how to do that. We have D8s. And specifically, we have 18 D8 hit dice because we're 18th level. We are not multi-classed, so you can X out, 0 out, or just leave blank, however you want to do it. Our proficiency bonus at 18th level is +6. We're going to know 4 cantrips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spells known. We're going to know 14. Alright, so we'll come back to spell casting. And we will have 4 spell slots of 5th level. There we go. And our invocations, we will get 8 invocations. Go. King says rip bubonic, then battles all and critically failed. Oh no. You went all in. For context, I started clearing the snow at 11 a.m. and left my place at 6, and you don't have a snowblower. Oh my goodness. Your professor lives 2 blocks away and they knew what everyone was dealing with. Gotcha, Clark. Well, hey man, you got a good workout, didn't you? And there's even some storms you can't even put salt or anything down. It's not going to do any good. You're just going to have 3 feet of snow on top of a little bit of salt. We are going to be receiving light armor proficiency and simple weapon proficiency in addition to our dwarven ones. No tool proficiencies. Wisdom and charisma are our saving throw proficiencies. So we fill in the diamond next to those, where it says saving throw, instead of the circle for skills. Now we get to choose two skills. Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. Well, if she was framed for a crime she didn't commit, how would we like to flavor this? You know, does she go for maybe intimidation? Does she go for investigation? Maybe she was trying to figure out who set her up. She was trying to make her own defense while she was exiled, and suddenly it occurred to her. It could be related to her discovery. If we have a Archfey patron, maybe she has some knowledge nature to go along with that, as the Fey tend to be more wild, right? As they tend to be living in forested areas or very natural, you know, on a very natural liminality verge. It could be reflected that way. Or we could make her, maybe it occurred to her because she was thinking on history or religion, and she was examining this. She's trying to put clues together. You won't need any sort of lullaby tonight. Yeah, I've never been more exhausted in my life, and I once played over 100 minutes of hockey with breaks lasting 20 to 30 seconds at most. Yeah, well, also, you know, enjoy your muscle gains, right? Spicy is feeling very spicy. He won that 540 but lost a 120 and has 1500 satisfactory. I kind of like going nature. She already has religion. Maybe we make her a smarty pants. We make her a smarty pants warlock. I mean, charisma's high. I just don't really see her. I don't know. I don't think she would do anything that would really be intimidating, because she's self-absorbed. Investigation, maybe investigation. That's still an int. Deception, she's not really deceiving anyone. Also, Dark Wolf wants to produce the flames. Maybe she ran away, and every campaign world is different, but dwarves aren't normally the Arcana type, right? You don't often hear about dwarven wizards or sorcerers. They exist, and believe me, 5th edition, in a meta sense, anyone can be anything. Though maybe she's a real, mold breaker, and we give her a high int, and on top of that, she's not even a charisma skill-based warlock. She's a smarty pants here. Ethel, how's it going? It's going very well. We're making a very interesting character for D&D 5th edition. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for, if you're lurking for a while, thank you for lurking, and thank you for welcoming or introducing yourself here. Do you have a lot of roleplay experience, Ethel? Do you play D&D, World of Darkness, 7th Sea, anything like that? Oh, Spicy Larry's going on a random epic adventure. Ooh, the dreaded reflection of yourself. Spicy Larry, can you overcome yourself? Attack normally, that's a 1d20, and we're going to add a 7 to that. 7 and 7 is 14, and unfortunately, like Cool Larry, or whatever, Nega Larry. Or whatever, if Spicy Larry's the new Doritos, then you just face the new Mountain Dew, and unfortunately, Mountain Dew won. Your arms feel like they're gonna fall off. At least I don't have any exams tomorrow. Yeah, so you can re-enter you can enter a regeneration pod, Clark, and renew yourself. Make sure you drink lots of water and stuff too. You know, to get a flush out all the lactic acid and stuff in your muscles. Ethel, oh man, I play D&D so much that it's my religion. I love role-playing and character creating. Well, Ethel, that's what we do a lot of here. The channel is primarily storytelling, D&D 101. We help both newcomers, and hey, if you live D&D, you are welcome to participate, share stories as a DM, share stories as a player. The characters we create here, these are not my characters, these are our characters. We tell tales with them. We create worlds and environments with them. So I think you found a really good place to hang out, Ethel. Rip to the dream. Oh, spicy. Got too spicy. And yeah, can someone avenge Spicy Larry, please? He asked for a res, please, but now he comes back as a male fairy fighter. Nice. Not too bad. That's an interesting combo, Spicy. A male fairy fighter. And goodbye forever. Yeah. And Ethel, if you want to check out our past vodcasts, just click over to videos. You can see some of what we do. Every week we make a new campaign based on 5 randomly created characters, and they aren't just stats. And we don't min-max. We tell stories. We would go for non-optimal builds because we're making a character. We're telling a tale through the numbers. And we're seeing what works, and we're challenging ourselves. How do we make this weird combination work into a character in some way? So I think Arcana and Nature are going to work here for our Warlock. We have a female Hill Dwarf. She is a Feyblade Warlock, level 18, and she's a Hermit for reason number 3, which is she was accused for a crime she didn't commit. You don't remember how to be at 0 XP? All you have to do is lurk, Spicy Larry. Either that or you can ask someone to give you some EXP, because other people can give you their EXP if you wish. Make sure you bat your eyelashes and say, please. Now what? Pardon. We have a light crossbow and 20 bolts or a simple weapon. Probably a simple weapon. Alright, she's coming out of being a hermit. I don't know if she'd have anything advanced like a light crossbow. A component pouch or an arcane focus. Well, I think that she's a very methodical person. She gets lost in her own thoughts. She's oblivious to etiquette and social expectations. Logical thinking. I would see that, I think she'd have a component pouch, right? She collects things everywhere she goes. She tries to fuel her spells by them. I think she's going to be a component pouch type of caster. Now, if you think differently and you want to come up with a different reason, hey, this is not just me lecturing. This is our character, and you're welcome to speak up and say so. Someone give me 50, and I will multiply it manyfold, please. Oh, hey. All right, spicy. Are you running a pyramid scheme, or are you going to make good on your investors here? Are you going to invest this EXP and pay them back? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? A component pouch? A scholar's pack? Yeah, I think so. She probably has tons of notes. Tons of notes. We're going to give her leather armor, a simple weapon, and 2 daggers. Simple, simple, and dagger X2. There we go. Erdl, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I'm happy that I've earned your respect and your attention. Random Forest, Spicy Larry, 16 and a 5. And so 5 plus 3 is 8. And unfortunately, the Treant pair squishes Spicy Larry. All right. We are going to get to spellcasting ability in a little bit. Not going to worry about that right away. We already know that we're getting our invocations at 2nd level. At 3rd, we're going to get our Pact Boon. So there's our Pact Blade. We rolled that for all her levels. She's not going to take any feats, and instead she's going to take an ability score improvement. We are also going to be getting Mystic Arcanum. 11th level, your patron bestows upon you magical secret called Arcanum. Choose 1 6th level spell from the Warlock spells at this Arcanum. So we'll come back to that, and she's not quite an Eldritch Master yet. Now, she is under the patronage of the Archfey, so we're going to give her an expanded spell list, but again, we'll do spells in a little bit here. She is going to get Fey Presence, Misty Escape, Beguiling Defenses, and Dark Delirium. We can plunge a creature into an illusory realm. As an action, choose a creature other than you can see in 60 feet. Must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it is charmed or frightened by you, for your choice, for 1 minute, until your concentration is broken. This effect ends early if the creature takes any damage. Thinks it's lost in a misty realm, the appearance of which you choose. We are immune to being charmed, and when another creature attempts to charm you, you can use your reaction to turn the charm back. So, charming is not up here in the immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. So be sure to remember, if you're just making notes about the titles of your features, remember of what that will be. Otherwise, write it out on your sheet. How many crewmates have we got so far? We made 2 yesterday for our day 1 of our campaign. Today we're making a 3rd crew member. Then we're going to examine all 3 of them and make a map in MS Paint. Right? I try and keep this accessible. I use OpenOffice. I use MS Paint. We use the core rulebooks as PDFs and a form-fillable character sheet. Who do we have so far? No problem, Myrtle. So we have Janet Passer, who's a female brass dragonborn. She is lawful good, and we had quite the conversation to realize that she is a pirate with the bad reputation background. And I'll let you think about that. If you have any further questions, you're welcome to ask. We did roll that she's a College of Valor Bard, and we went through and filled her out here. Our second character is Ethel, male Tiefling. He favors his fiendish side more, right? Devil or demon. So that means he favors it in appearance, in personality, in a combination, whatnot. He has the Acolyte background, and he is a transmutation wizard. With his background here, because we do personality first before stats and all that, he is practicing in the temple. He has a blind faith, and he wants to use his transmutation magic to recover a lost artifact at sea. Unfortunately, transmutation magic allows for gills and water breathing and all that other fun stuff. What she's doing, well, she enjoys a good tavern brawl. She does tend to be very dominant in personality, and we determined that her vice is when she starts gambling, it's hard for her to stop. This is the very like quick and dirty rundown. We had full, like, every character takes about an hour or so to develop, and now we have our third character here, female hill dwarf, Dwarf Warlock, who was exiled for a crime that she didn't commit. And we're going through what she's getting here. Invocations. So we have someone now that is... She's on the run, right? She's not a part of her homeland. She lives alone because maybe she doesn't know who to trust. And that's fine, because that developed her to live in her own little world, right? She often gets lost in her own thoughts and contemplation. She's oblivious to etiquette and social expectations. She favors logic. She's still seeking the enlightenment she pursues, so she's constantly thinking, constantly self-observing. And now that she's returned to the world, she enjoys its delights a little too much. And in so doing, she has chosen to go live at sea for a while because it's not as distracting. I don't have to worry about learning about civility or society, and I can also escape judgment when I'm out on a ship and I'm surrounded by water. And we can also think about what her crime was. Let's see. Steelda says, ooh, this character could have been exiled for pirating, which she didn't do, and then turned into a pirate. That is a possibility, Steel. You know, we're not using ink. We're using electrons on a PDF. If we want to, if we think that makes sense. Though, whatever caused her exile caused her to fall into deep introspection. And you know what? Janet kind of had the same thing, right? How do we have a lawful good pirate with a bad reputation as her background? She turned a new leaf? Or again, we talked it could be an environmental factor, right? If you're in a bad area, your bad reputation means you're actually like the good cop or something. Gives us a little flexibility. So what would really... For a warlock like this, what would she slot into herself as an invocation? We can always go with something like mage armor. You know, she wants to defend herself, but maybe she never had to. If you lived in exile, speak with animals, she might have done that, right? In order to stave off any, you know, if you don't have contact with other humanoids, maybe she spoke to animals as a way to learn, as a way to actually have friends and to be able to have people she can talk to. Yeah, you can speak with animals at will without extending a spell slot. And by the way, as a sailor, that can make a lot of sense, right? You want to talk to, yeah, you can talk to the fish, talk to the seagulls, talk to the pelicans or whatever. They can tell you if land's around, or, oh, I spotted something floating in the ocean a mile away, or things along those lines. Let's see. Ethel says, books can never lie and facts cannot betray. Do you want that to be, or is that a one-sentence summary of the character, Ethel? Bubonic 1 is offering a stat spread of 13, 10, 14, 12, 8, and 15. I do believe wisdom should be her dump stat for sure. And I do think that she should have a high intelligence. So keep those in mind, Bubonic. So maybe she took Beast Speech, right? It's also an Archfey. If she was learning this pact, if she was entering into it, maybe that was one of the prerequisites, or that those are her communication agents with her patron. I don't know if she would take Beguiling Influence, right? Who is she going to deceive or persuade? Maybe if she's running away, I don't know. Maybe if she does need to go into town and people are like, hey, aren't you that so-and-so? Maybe Beguiling interests or influence could work. Let's see. You can cast Compulsion. Well, we might be able to slot that in. Book of Ancient Secrets. We can't take that. We can't take Chains. Devil's Sight. I mean, that would increase our dark vision, I guess. But has she been happy with her 60 feet of natural dark vision? Dreadful Word she could take. You can cast Confusion once during a Warlock spell slot. Using a Warlock spell slot. So maybe we can give her the Confusion spell, but she might get that already as a Fae. I just get a sense that with everything going on, perhaps just having knowledge of the written word is sort of constant in her life. Yeah, so that could be... she might take Eldritch Sight. And what you're talking about is Eyes of the Runekeeper, Ethel. That you can read all writing. That if you want something to do, you want to pass the time, you want to be lost in a world, that kind of a thing. That could be something else too. Let's put down Eyes of the Runekeeper. And Bubonic, what I'll do is I'll tentatively write down here. You think she should have a higher strength, a lower dex, con of 14, int of 12. I don't know. I almost want to switch the con and the intelligence, Bubonic. 8 wisdom, I definitely agree on, and I think charisma should be high. You can have River and Lake Pirates. Yeah, hey, that's Civil Hermit, a super long range Warlock build is nice, borderline cheesy for an open ocean combat. Eldritch Spear plus, yes, that's true. And we can consider that too. You know, is she just coming out of her hermitage? If so, then she probably wouldn't take a build like that. But let's say that she's been on the open sea, or maybe she ran away to be a pirate or whatever. For the crime she didn't commit. You know, she joined up with sailors to get away. In that case, they might use her for that, right? Janet has a nice line fire breath attack. Well, maybe they're using her for something like that too, Sybil. I think Mask of Many Faces would work for someone who's been accused of a crime. Conjure Elemental once during a Warlock. Ooh. Minions of Chaos would be interesting also. Right? If you're out on the sea and you need a wind in your sails, or, I don't know, you need some water to drink because you're running low on fresh supplies, you can conjure a Water Elemental. Mire the Mind. You know what? I should go real quick. We have level 2, level 2. We get our third at 5. We get our fourth at 7. Our fifth at 9. Our sixth at 12. Our 7th at 15. And our last one at level 18 here is is exactly that, level 18. So if we do that, actually, what you bring up, Civil, is, let's say we can tell a story based on the invocation she takes, right? She starts out, she has beast speech, because this is when she is getting to know her Archfey Patron. Eyes of the Runekeeper, Mask of Many Faces might be she's still on the run. And you got to focus on some work. Thanks for having me. Yeah, hey, Ertl, thank you for being a part here and lending a little bit of advice. Please come back and see us again. I'd love to have you back. And so what we can do for Civil, what you're talking about, is we know when she signed up to be a part of the crew, because that was, you know, she lent her talents and they said, hey, we won't rat on you if you can help us out. And so then you get a combination like what Civil's saying, where you take Eldritch Spear plus Spell Sniper. Although for Spell Sniper, we rolled she's not getting any feats, but we could enhance her blast if we wanted to. Different elemental for different purposes. Fire, earth can be used to burn, smash enemy ships. Yep, air can be used to provide wind or sails either way. Water can be for yeah. And so maybe here, right, she can go Minions of Chouse. Oh, she can't take that one yet. That's a level 9. But what we can do, and that's why we labeled our invocations, she can take that at 9. Taking Thirsting Blade, so she can attack with her packed weapon twice instead of once. Now, here's the thing: she does get she is a blade packed warlock. We can give her this if we want her to be weapon focused. I mean, if we're not, you can argue, well, is that really fulfilling it? Would this character then? You think our character would take Thirsting Blade? I agree, Bubonic, about water elementals, and I like your dynamic, because yeah, I mean, what else would wreak havoc on another ship than if you just summon a fire elemental and tell it, yeah, go to town. So maybe here, right? If we look at the progression of the character and we're telling a story based on her invocations, she's just trying to survive. She's just getting to know herself. She's getting to know her pact. Now, around level 7 or 9, she's been taken in by the sailors or the pirates or whatever, and she's having to learn more combat roles, ways to use her powers to benefit her crew. Bobicus just killed 3 player characters and made my players paranoid about their guide. Ask me anything. Yeah, Bobicus, you keep giving very lethal status updates. What, so is this from... This is the game in Tomb of Annihilation, right? Are you still... Well, so you're not in the jungles of Chult, correct? Or is that's the one that you're playing through instead of the one that you're running. The one you're running is a homebrew, isn't it? Oh, okay, gotcha. They're in the... So is this Operation Dragon Drop, or is this something else? Did they catch some tropical fever and just kind of die like that? We're using Earth Elemental, same way, summon it right on top of the enemy ship, drop it. Yeah. Like a cannonball, right, Bubonic? I mean, cannonballs are bludgeoning damage if you think about it. So for Whispers of the Grave, this, if she can cast Speak with Dead at will, this means that she can get information from the people that have, you know, if they kill invaders, or if they are in the invaders themselves, she can talk to the corpses. Witch Sight can help her see through shape changer forms, illusion, or transmutation, which a lot of those style magics you might be able to see out in the ocean, right? You have people who are going to give themselves transmutation magic to make themselves be able to breathe water, swim better, or illusions to make it look like a ship's not actually there. Now, yes, it is within 30 feet, however you want to flavor that. I think Witch Sight would be very interesting. Gaze of Two Minds seems really good. Especially if she's kind of awkward in social situations. She would just want to learn where she can, like, where to get information. So even Whispers of the Grave and Gaze of Two Minds, I think would fit a warlock with her personality style. You love pet classes, and a warlock with this ability can be the most dangerous of enemy because of the ability to decide how to use her disposable pet. Bobicus, Dragon Drop already happened, but it killed their healer. He was replaced with a wizard. The next combats did not go well because of the lack of a healer. Some ghouls and a ghast attacked, and everyone proceeded to kite the ghouls, except the paladin, who got surrounded and went down. Oh, so that's body number one. Apparently 2 more fell, though. Did they fall to the ghouls after the paladin fell, or was this something else that happened? Also, are you having good morale at your table? Is everyone like, oh man, we really got we got our butts kicked on that one, but we're gonna come back and you know, get to it? What is your morale meta like? Okay, we are going to get some. Oh, we're going to get some stats. If we go with what Bobicus brought up here. I'm sorry, with bubonic. We have while we're missing Bobo, and we have the Balluminati. I'm sorry. Some feats will transfer to your wild shape, Dark Wolf. It depends on the wild shape form you take. For instance, you get Crossbow Master or whatever, right? Well, if you turn into a bear, if you're not using a crossbow, then that feat's not going to work. Let's say you take the mobile feat, and that gives you 10 extra feet of movement. Well, you're playing an animal that can move. That 10 feet of movement will transfer over too. So read the elements of the feat, and consider the different shapes that you could transform into. And that will determine. And if you have specific questions, because I am your DM for that, Dark Wolf, ask me, and I'll let you know. Bubonic hates having all this EXP. Oh, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to go in all or nothing, Bubonic? Morale seems fine. I got one player who seems frustrated with the combat difficulty, but the majority like it. I'm going to tone it down a bit next session. So did you have to talk to that player? Did you pull him aside and have a conversation? Whoa. Bubonic, nice. Look at that. Almost a palindrome. Boom. Real Dorgrim lurks in the corner trying to decide which game to play while he listens. Well, you know, I don't know who just said that, because clearly there's just people lurking in the back, but if I were to play a variety of games, what variety of games would I have available so I could suggest? So Bubonic, I almost want to swap Constitution with her Constitution with her Intelligence. I do think she's an intelligent woman, and I would want her to bring that up some, right? So if we do that and we give the 14 here and the 12 here, that will give her a 14 con, right? And then we erase this from her being a dwarf. And then our wisdom would go up to a 9 and go like that. So now we get 4 ability score increments. I do think that she is favoring her warlock abilities, right? This is probably what has empowered her to be able to come back into the world now that she's more powerful and not so easily arrested for a crime she didn't commit. So I think we go 17 for 1, and then we go 19 for 2. Now, we have 2 more left. We can do 3, would be 1 here, and maybe 1 in strength. And then we get 1 more that we can put probably in strength to make her attacks hit that much harder and to be more accurate. So if we do that, then we come up here, and there's our 4 ASIs. Pardon me. Charger Feet was one that would pair nicely. Yep, I believe so, Dark Wolf. Bubonic, say put 5 in Charisma, 1 in Wisdom, 2 in Dex. Yes, she's going to be a strength because she's Blade. This would allow her a lot of different ways to wield a weapon. And I don't know how big Dex would really be for her. I just see things like, right, based on the personality, her defenses are... I don't know if she needs to be defensive, because if you're defensive, you have to think about that stuff. If you can just hit things until they stop moving, then you can get back to thinking about the things you want to think about. Plus, an unarmored, you know, kind of a more helpless looking character, whether male or female, that doesn't matter as much anyway. Might on the culture of the game, I suppose. But if she's unarmored and then she can get in close and just do something like suddenly just, you know, minions of chaos right in the middle of people or something along those lines, I think thematically it's good to give her a high strength and go from there. No, I just got the impression he's just complaining about a lot of things because he's getting frustrated, not realizing it. It's fine, I'm going to tone it down next session, partially to make him feel better, partially so that I don't wear out my players' ability to care about their characters. Ah, alright. I get you, Bobicus. Did you have a review afterwards and say, hey, so this is how, this was our combat, how might you have played through this differently? You know, kind of like after a football game, if any of you are familiar, how you go and your coach will go through the game on, you know, if your game was Friday night, then everyone gets around in the locker room on Saturday morning, you know, and reviews the game to try and get better. Did you have a review process like that, Bobicus? Three and 3. 0, 0, 0, 0. Con is 2. 2, 2, and 2. So this is going to be 8, 8, and 8. -1 plus 6 is 5. Same. And then we're going to copy this -1. There. 5 plus 6 is 11. And 5's all the way down for charisma. There you go. Armor class is going to be 11 because it's leather armor. No dex mod. Passive perception is 9. Initiative is +0. And we'll come up with some simple weapons to give her also. 1d4 +3 piercing. And this is whatever she wants to manifest. +3, and it's of some type. We have the placeholder for it anyway. What else do we need? Oh yes, our DC is 8 + 5 is 13. It's going to be 19. And her attack is going to be +11 because you just subtract the 8. There's nothing really to worry about here for some side pool of whatever. I mean, if you want to put minions of chaos, but you get to do that once. Something along those lines. Cantrips we can fill in, no problem there. And hit points, oh yes. So she gets the full 8 at level 1. Then we're going to add 17 levels of half +1, which is the method that I recommend using, plus any bonus for every level. So we get the full 18 levels of a bonus 2 hit points from her con modifier. And I believe, Dark Wolf, that all of those, not only would they fit Soraya, but if she does choose an animal form, most, if not all of those, should be able to benefit from those feats. Bobika says they kind of did it spontaneously. One of the players is kind of a tactician and pointed out the problem with trying to have everyone kite. It naturally allowed me to split the party. I played chess against him after, lost twice, won once. Bobicus, in order to make the combat easier while upping the pressure at the same time, one of the ghouls started dragging the paladin off into the jungle, making a stealth roll every turn to hide. When it succeeded, I removed the paladin and the ghoul from the map. Later on in the fight, another character was down and drug off. Everyone rushed over to help because, 1, they could this time, and 2, they knew the stakes. Are you going to have this paladin return as a ghoul? Is it going to come back as an undead of some kind, Bobicus? So let's see, that's 99. Ooh, nice. She is a rather beefy warlock. That's fine, she needs hit points anyway with an AC of 11. She earned her name. There we go. We got to give her artisan tools of some kind. Well, a proficiency anyway. She might not have them on her. Now, we have Chop. You can leave it blank, you can exit out, put zeros, whatever you want to do here. That's up to you. Clark, you're trying to stay awake and watch the stream, but the ambient wave sounds are making it really hard. Do you want something a bit more festive, Clark? Would that help you? Bobicus, no, they found the ghoul later, just sort of standing over the paladin, her throat ripped out and belly split open. It was just sort of standing there oblivious to the world after feeding. They killed it and burned the paladin's body for fear that she... Oh, okay, so they took a precaution against her coming back. Salt and burn the bones. Bubonic one wants to name her Malda Thunderstone. Why are we going with the clan name Thunderstone? What is a Thunderstone? Who are the Thunderstones? Bubonic one. Oh, you're gonna fall asleep regardless? Well, if I can help you out, you had a good mental workout with your exams after what, 6 hours of shoveling. You deserve some sleep, brother. By the way, Clark, were we able to continually entertain Ms. Clark with our hijinks and antics? You use a Thunderstone to get a Jolteon? She's Malda Jolteon. Alright, here's our face spells that we're getting. Also, we get 4 cantrips. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fairy Fire would be very good in naval situations. Sleep. Calm emotions. Phantasmal Force. Blink. Plant Growth. Dominate Beast. Greater Invisibility. Dominate Person. And Seeming. Ooh. Tricksy. Clark says we decided to turn in at some point shortly after the third part of the stream ended, but she enjoyed the madness while she was around. No, that's fine. I get it. I'm just glad you're not slipping in and out of French or whatever, because then you'd really be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Clark. Hey, I'm glad that she was able to at least take some entertainment from us being nerds in here too. It's always nice to have outsiders or normies around us. Okay, we get 18th level. It was 4 spell slots of 5th level. Go. And our spells known. So here is our level 1. We get 2 here. There's our level 2. At level 3, we can take second levels. 3, 4, 5, 6. You see how this is going, though it won't always rise like this. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, here's 8th level. At 9, we do learn our 10th spell, but you see that at level 10, we do not learn a new one. So at level 9, we can get into 5th. However, we will not get another one until 11. $13, 15, and 17. Now, if you want to distribute these, you certainly can, because otherwise this is going to go 13, 15, 17, right? Because our slot level is 5th level. We get special things here as warlocks. Warlocks are different types of casters. If we wanted then, right, because we know we're doing every odd level, we can say, oh, yeah, let's go 13, 15, and 17. Because there's spells in those ranks that we want to take. We can do that. It's up to you. What is her story? Why would she be taking... Remember, your spells are a diary. Your spells are going to show the kind of adventure that you've had. If you hand over your character sheet to someone, and they look at the spells that you've chosen at the levels you've picked them, they might be able to get an idea of the adventure you've gone on. Dark Wolf wants to go Charger? Okay, yeah. Have at it. Play around with the math. Roll some dice with it. Bobicus, they ran into some assassin vines. I was going to bury some skeletons near the vines and have them pop up a few rounds into the battle, but it went very south very quickly. All 3 vines were able to grab a party member before it started getting kited, because I gave the vines a surprise round. In some ways, this is ideal because assassin vines aren't much of a threat if you're more than 10 feet away. In other ways, it killed 2 of my PCs / shrug. Yeah. Technically, surprise rounds don't occur, even though they do. It's just it's a status condition. I know what you're talking about, though, Bobicus. Just like I was corrected yesterday too, because I forgot that Jack of all trades, as a bard, will increase your initiative because that is technically a dex check. Bubonic Thundering is the name of the hills where the clan hails from. Stone because these dwarves are warriors of granite, and marble for the local kingdoms. Okay, so she is. Name of the local noble dwarves is the Thundering. And the name of the local noble dwarves is Thundering Stone. All right, that makes sense, Bubonic. And you know what? I didn't say that as I was doubting you, or I'm like, whatever. I love that sort of creativity. I think you did a good job explaining it. You know, her lore is now a little bit deeper for that. She's run most nights. I am, but doesn't have a Twitch account, so she watches with you. Oh, okay. Well, if you're watching, hello, welcome. From a crazy dude wearing an onion dome hat. I mean, come on, who does that, right? Also, we are going to receive Mystic Arcanum. Choose 1 6th level spell. So we are going to get Mystic Arcanum here. MA. And 8th level, MA. Mystic Arcanum. So we know where we're getting this stuff. And a 9th level, MA. We don't often get to 9th level casters. There we go. And our casts of our Mystic Arcanum are free. You wear Urshenka myself when it gets cold outside. Ah, okay. Still is. I mean, Clark got snowed in. We got a little dusting here in Ohio. And I thought, oh, geez, that's unseasonable. Meanwhile, Clark is digging out to get to his finals. Clark, I think she's starting to come around to the idea of trying to game with my group, but you didn't hear that from... Oh, I should listen. Sorry. Netflix suggestion, Breaking the Magician's Code. Do you want to give a non-spoilerly blurb about it, Dark Wolf? Ushenka is also called Ushenka hat, is a Russian fur cap with ear flaps that can be tied up to the crown. Isn't that also just called a toboggan hat? Bubonic one? Or is that a different style that you're talking about? Okay, we have the skeleton of a character here. Right, we could go through and pick her spells, which will also tell her tale, just as her invocations had done. That's, but I think for the most part, we have the basics filled in. You know, we can choose her simple weapon. We can give her another language. I'm not too worried about that. We have the big math. We have the big decisions for the character made. After this, we could just go to our magic section and give her certain spells. You know, what would we choose? Can either confirm or deny. Well, so Clark, let's do this. Hypothetically, let's pretend you know someone who may want to play Dungeons and Dragons. What you could do, if you didn't want to sit down and build a character yourself, is you could let someone who streams content on a Twitch channel know a particular build or aspects of a character, and this person could accidentally build a first level character and accidentally take it through a couple levels to show how character building is done. And then this, you know, then I will mistakenly save the PDF file and oopsie daisy it over to our Discord in case someone wanted to download it for whatever reason. I don't know. I think a lot of people wear toboggan hats, Bubonic One. Dark Wolf, Breaking the Magician's Code is a show where a masked magician explains how some of the greatest tricks and illusions were pulled off. Ooh, okay. So, so spoiler alert, it spoils magic. Yeah, Dorger, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more, know what I mean? Yeah, you've seen some of them, Dark Wolf, but some of their tricks are easy to figure out even without. Even without. So here's our Warlock stuff. Lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff, guys. Come on. Look at my magic skills. Power Word Kill. Whew. Or True Polymorph. Yeah, these are... You can cast True Polymorph once a day for freebies. That's pretty good. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get up. I'm going to take about a 10-minute break, okay? I'm going to load up MS Paint because that is my powerful world rendering tool. Haha. And we are going to populate some islands. We're going to make an environment for our group of sailors or pirates or privateers or whatever we're going to make them. We need to make an area of some kind for them. So, what do you say? Come on, 10-minute break, everyone. Get up, stretch, get some water. You know, answer nature's call if you have to. We'll meet back here and we'll get to it.